I remember opening that Street Fighter 6 leak after Capcom had kind of soft confirmed it and feeling a little bittersweet about it. While there were faces I recognized and new ones I was excited to see, one character was missing. My original main, Karin Kanzuki. It's 2019, and I'm witnessing my first EVO live on Twitch. Bonchin is on the stage in Grand Finals against Big Bird, and it's Rashid versus Karin. Now at this point in time, I'm mildly interested in Street Fighter. I mean, I owned it on Steam already from the Humble Bundle, but I really had no reason to play it, and I wasn't particularly interested in the competitive side of things. I really just tuned into EVO to watch this dude who I heard about named Arslan, who was slaying the gods of Tekken, and I had to witness it for myself. Somewhere along the way, I got caught up in the Street Fighter side of things, and what I ended up seeing, although not the most hype Grand Final of all time, was still something very special to me. And I remember thinking at the time, Tekken is pretty fun right now to just play with the boys, but I could see myself playing a game like this, a game like Street Fighter. Something about the 2D aspect and the art style, even though a lot of people hated it, kind of got me interested, and I wanted to see more about Street Fighter 5 and more about this character Bonchan was playing. And that's exactly what I did. It began with just simply opening the game, pressing some buttons, moving around, reading the command list, gathering all the information that the game gives you on this character that you're very interested in. And once I reached the limits of what the game had to offer, I went searching for even deeper answers. Replays, guides, VODs, live streams, whatever could offer me information. And you don't really realize how much work you're putting in to learn this character until you take a step back and look at all this information together. I'm figuring it out right now because in the moment, it's just so much fun. There's two things I very much credit to why I still play these games. One is this character. I think if I never found a character that I enjoyed playing so much, I would have never continued to play Street Fighter fighting games as a whole. And two, of course, my local scene who propelled me and helped me not only learn the character, but learn the games and just all around great people. I'd show up every week, I'd play the most terrible Karin you've ever seen, and they treat me like an equal still. They treat me like I was anybody else. Not worse than them, not better than them, but an equal. And that, I think, is really important when it comes to continuing playing and continuing to show up and get better. I started to notice when I would show up, I was the only person playing this character still. You know, she's very strong at this time, but nobody's playing her, and I always wondered why, and I always wondered if there was somebody else in Houston that played the character better than me, who could teach me, who I could learn from. It's one thing to sit around and watch guides online or to get coaching online, but to sit next to another person who knows your character better than you, knows the game better than you, and can teach you face to face is a super valuable experience. Every time I'd ask, I'd always get the same answer. Well, there is a guy who's very good at Karin. In fact, he's probably the best player in Texas when he took the game seriously, and his name is Hamad, but he doesn't really play Karin anymore. He plays Sagat, and he doesn't really play the game anymore. I had sort of come into the scene while he was on his way out, when he was pretty much done with Street Fighter 5. And so to me, he became a bit of an urban legend. I would always hear about this mysterious figure, this mysterious man who I'd never met, who was a legend in the Texas scene, who was the best we had to offer, but he had gone off. You know, he'd gone off on some journey in real life. But that was all about to change. Mr. Madgear announced that he would be throwing an event called Lights Out. But this was no ordinary tournament. This was going to be a regional, meaning we would have players from all over Texas, Dallas, San Antonio, Austin, traveling to Houston to compete for who would be the best in Texas. And I'm sure you can already guess who was attending. And you're probably wondering by now, what's the big deal? You can watch Punk beat every player under the sun with Karin. There's replays all over the place. What's the big deal about Hamad being very good at the character and you wanting to see him be very good at your character? When you play in your local scene, you'll realize that you don't really have as much of a reference to how strong the players that people like Punk are beating. Punk might beat Daigo or something. I've never played Daigo. I have no idea how good he actually is when I am the other person on the other side of that stage. But I have played against The Answer, and I have played against Narukami 2D, and I have played against Mr. Madgear. I have some reference as to how good those players are and how good I think they are. So to see somebody come through and beat those guys is insane to me. It was insane to me at the time that there was somebody out there that I didn't know about who was this strong the whole time. Unfortunately for me though, Hamad would opt to play Sagat for majority of this tournament. It wouldn't be until Grand Finals rolled around that I would finally get to see what I had been waiting for. And the set that ensued did not disappoint.
Out of the two fellas, The Answer works his ass off.
He does, and especially with Fall. But like when you got
this going on,
bro,
oh my goodness,
that's the game already.
Shit.
Bah!
That okay. Oh, I understand. Oh,
Keep you safe. You're dead. You're dead. Yeah.
You're dead.
Sleeves, baby.
Sleeves. Thank you, because I would not be able to pronounce that. All right, we got some bubbles.
Boom! The
That's
counter
nice.
hit combo.
Trade. Oh, that's it. Oh, wait a minute. He needs
didn't
one
go
more
on the
low card. What he got? What he got? All right, plus frames. Keep himself safe. Keep himself in the corner. All right. Yeah, he's keeping himself in the corner. He's not
Boy,
trying
if
to
he
risk it.
whiff punish, that's it. That's dead.
That's death. And
He
we
dropped it.
got a reset.
Didn't make him.
Oh, that's the wrong answer. Oh boy.
It's
And
looking rough.
We had a deficit, people. We got one more chance, and that V trigger might be it. All right, well, let's see what he got.
Oh, he tried to
Oh,
EX
but
me.
he got hit. We got hit still. What's he gonna do? What's he gonna do? No V.
Same side.
Oh, but we dropped him. We dropped him. I think it's it, folks. Yep.
Oh my God!
That's it.
There you go. Hamad is your
Oh.
tournament winner for Lights Out.
In the end, Hamad would switch to Sagat and 3-0 Dancer in the reset. Two of Houston's greatest players, one of which I knew the strength of, and the others I could only imagine up until this point, had fought through Austin, Dallas, San Antonio, just to meet each other in grand finals and prove who was the strongest. And even if it was only for a set, to see the character that I play and that I was learning be played to its full capacity on a stage that I recognize against a player who I knew was something special. It motivated me to keep going. It showed me what is possible when you really put in the work, and I wanted to get there. I wanted to win something. It made me feel a yearning for competition that I had never felt in my life. It made me want to win something, and that feeling has never left. And so while it might be the beginning of the end for Street Fighter V and for our time with Karin Kanzuki, there are still things left that I want to achieve. But we'll save that for episode 2 of A Farewell to Karin Kanzuki. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed, please consider subscribing.